This is Things You Might Not Have Heard, and I am Jay Cleveland Payne. And this morning we have for you in the queue 8 news stories from yesterday, your Wednesday, going into this Thursday, that are vetted by you as conversational, covering information, politics, current events, and pop culture news. I have the great stories for you, including the Public Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Trust me, it's pretty important. Shedeur Sanders and the aftermath of his draft drop and the pranks in between, and 8 million dimes. Plus another story that caused issues in your traffic. And these stories are all vetted by you as being conversational. We'll explain that conversation project vetting process in just a bit. But right now, let's get into 3 things we need to tell you right up front. Our website home. This is conversationproject.com for more information about the full offerings of the Conversation Project. Also, our sponsor, you see there as well, the chess store. Go to this. It's conversationproject.com/chess store and get great deals on chess. And as affiliate links, we get a small commission for your buy. And our email address for all the chit chat you want to give to us at the conversation inbox at gmail.com. It's all there. It's all for you. It's all good and gravy, if you will. So it's all that. Now, let's get into the headlines for today. Or yesterday's headline, Thursday, May the 1st, 2025. No particular order as these stories are being presented to. They're just there. It's what's going on. It's what we have going on. It's the best way to basically present these stories to you. So what we have for you going forward here. So let's get into it right now. Starting off with 100 Days of Greatness or whatnot. As the actual headline we're talking about is the greatness that is not quite there for Donald Trump. U.S. economy shrinks as Trump's trade wars hit businesses hard. Now, yesterday, or actually 2 days ago, we had the 100 days of Donald Trump, where he gave a lot of big speeches, big rally, a lot of speeches yesterday talking about what's going on and talking to some business folks who are coming in to add and bolster the American economy. They're coming in, they're going to build, they're going to put in efforts, they're going to build in factories and build those things here to escape the tariffs. Eventually, because tariffs will go into effect fairly quickly, but it'll take 2-3 years to build these factories. The biggest issue is right now, under Trump's watch, in the first quarter of 2025, the economy actually contracted by 0.3%. So not a lot, but it is a decline. First one in 3 years. Downturn is primarily attributed to Donald Trump's aggressive tariff policies, which have disrupted trade and increased costs for businesses and consumers all around, with a contradiction following the 2.4% growth in the previous quarter. Now, what gets a little bit interesting here, we can go deeper into the GDP and stuff like that and all the numbers, but what really is the problem is Donald Trump, who a year or so ago, while there was great growth, was talking about how Trump's poll numbers and how Trump was doing so many things, how Trump was going to take back over things going forward, made the economy stronger because people were actually having more confidence that Trump will come back and do things. But now that Trump's been in charge for 2 of the months and 3 months in the quarter, he's blaming Biden. Everything's Biden's fault when there was actually growth all the way up until Trump took over, which is where things get a little crazy. Now, to be fair, Donald Trump is trying to change massive policies for the United States. That could take some time, could take some effort, and could actually turn out for the best. Many people, many economists say tariffs are an actual tool that work, that actually help us with keeping cheaper goods out of our country and leveling the playing field. So they work. But when you overly rely on them and put them on basically every country in the nation so that everyone has to pay extra coming into goods, the way tariffs work, that's where things get crazy. We shall see. We shall see what's going to come up going forward and whether the numbers that we had, although Donald Trump touted great numbers in his last term, the actual numbers were not always that great going forward because of his way of managing things. We'll see if he can get a win from the massive tariffs he intends to put on folks, or if they turn into deals for everyone so all to come out better. And that way we can say things are greater. Right now, Liberation Day is just liberating us from our money because it seems like everyone's going to pay more regardless, and everything is tanking around us because of that. Our second story for the morning: public broadcasting sues to stop Trump from firing board members. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting has filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration to prevent the dismissal of its board members, Laura Ross, Thomas Rothman, and Diane Kaplan. CPB contends that as a private nonprofit organization established by Congress, it operates independently and is not subject to executive branch control. Board members appointed for 6-year terms by the president and confirmed by the Senate received termination notices via email from the White House Department Deputy Director of Presidential Personnel. The CBP arguing that these dismissals violate the organization's founding principles and intent of Congress to protect it from political interference. In response to the lawsuit, federal judge granted an emergency injunction temporarily halting the administration's effort to remove the board members. The White House maintains that the president has the constitutional authority to remove individuals who exercise executive functions. However, the CBP asserts that its board members do not fall under this category, emphasizing its status as a private entity designed to shield it from public broadcasting and political influence. Broader pattern from Trump administration to basically exert his influence over public media institutions, basically get his message out the way he wants it. In April 2025, the administration also dismissed several members of the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Council appointed by President Biden. We'll get to that story in just a minute because the message by Donald Trump. This is not the first of many cuts. 1.1 billion were previously allocated to CBP. That was basically they want to cut from the funding, supporting around 1,500 public radio and television stations nationwide. Without that money, most of the stations will find some way to survive based off of the viewers like you. But in some cases, those are the backbones to get things started. We'll see how many survive in public radio and NPR, which are two separate things. But as far as Trump's concerned, they're both pretty bad. So it just sort of fell in place like this, but the next story is on Trump removing Doug Emhoff specifically and others from the Holocaust Memorial Council. The husband and former Vice President Kamala Harris, Doug Emhoff, was along with several other Biden-era appointees from the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Council and the governing body of the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum, Washington, D.C., who were relieved of duties by Donald Trump recently. Emhoff is Jewish and has been an advocate against anti-Semitism for essentially his life and his career, and is criticizing the move as politicizing Holocaust remembrance. Other people removed were people that were appointed by Biden, of course, Ron Klain, Susan Rice, Tom Perez, and Anthony Berthold, who were pretty good Biden surrogates, very good loyalists to Biden, and got their positions because that's how it works out. They're relieved of the duties by President Trump, who intends to appoint new members who are supporters of the state of Israel, which seems like, why wouldn't these folks be supporters of the state of Israel? That's the intention. As I said, the messaging that Donald Trump wants to put out there is out there. Whether it's consistent, whether it's any good, you're taking the message. You be the judge of those things. We have reports from South Korea, of course, because neither North Korea or Russia are speaking on this one, that nearly 5,000 North Korean troops have reportedly been killed or injured in the fight for Russia in Ukraine. About 4,700, more or less specifically, reported being killed or wounded while fighting alongside Russian forces in Ukraine, according to South Korea's National Intelligence Service. As I said, we're getting this from South Korea, not from the folks who are actually involved. About 600 fatalities and 2,000 injured troops repatriated to North Korea between January and March of 2025. Not a lot of time, but a lot of dying in that time. This deployment is a part of a 2024 defense treaty between North Korea and Russia, mandating mutual aid during conflict. Although right now, the conflicts that are going around are just in Russia, which is where the troops are going. North Korea actually deployed about 15,000 troops to assist in the war against Ukraine. Soldiers engaging in front lines and regions in Kursk. In exchange for support, North Korea is receiving advanced military technology and modernizing its energy and tourism sectors. Despite the initial inexperience to wartime folks, The North Korean troops have reportedly improved their combat capabilities and the use of advanced weapon systems like drones in the area. Ukrainian intelligence and military officers have observed North Korean forces shifting from large group movements to smaller, stealthier units to evade surveillance drones. They are adapting to the situations, they are learning, they are growing, and if there's ever some sort of larger conflict, the North Korean troops will have some actual use and experience in the now modern warfare as opposed to behind the lines just marching and going back and forth. So we got 4 stories down very quickly, I might add, and 4 stories to go. And we are rushing through the thing today. We have a couple things going on. If you are a newcomer, much of the stuff may not make any sense. If you're old head, have been here before, you one notice I'm trying to fight these hiccups, which are terrible, and two, a couple things going on. We were actually streaming live at 5:30 in the morning for the first time in a while, using a couple mixes to see how it works out. We'll see if the actual broadcast and the actual thing holds up. Plus, we have background things recording just in case. But this is how we sort of intend this thing to go before, and we need your help to make it grow. If you're liking what you're seeing and things are working out, number one, give me live comments because I'm actually live here. I can read some, I can see some, I can kind of see how things are going as best as possible. Not wearing my glasses and the screen's over there, so we'll see how that works out. But give me comments inside of the chat here, inside of the thing here, so I can go along what's happening. But number two, this is part every morning where we pause and ask for your help to help us grow the News Nerd Nation. That's what we call ourselves, folks who are enjoying stuff at the Conversation Project, things you might have heard, and want to get more news in this fashion we did. We'll explain how the stories get picked and how you are part of the nation, do the work for that one. But right now, I need more of you here. And it's simple. Like, share, and subscribe to the video you're watching right here. If you like it, hopefully on a better day than this one, you're giving me the juice to know that I'm doing the right things, have the right story mix, I'm doing the right amount of commentary, not fighting coughs and burps and hiccups like today is happening here. So on a normal day with better responses, you can go ahead and like it. If you want to see what a normal day is, go ahead and like it. I'll get more people in there. I know I'm doing well with the stories and the commentary. The algorithm thinks I'm doing okay with the stories and commentary, and we'll share it to more folks. Share this with like-minded folks so that we know more people who enjoy this type of news and type of commentary, not just stuff that's a straight line from what's trending, but actually going through and asking you what stories are good enough to talk about is there for there as well. And subscribe, because on a less comedic day, you will get me directly into your feed. And if you're watching it right now live at 5:30 in the morning, 5:30 a.m. Central Time, awesome. Thank you so much. Give me a comment. Let me know where you're at, what's going on. Or if you're watching a replay, let me know what you're seeing and how you're seeing it so we know what's going on. This is streaming live to X, live to Facebook, and live to YouTube. Hopefully with all the sound intact. We had issues with sound and issues with buffering, so we went to the live day for a while. Hopefully go back to live, get it all done, and get it all set and ready to go. We move on to a story that we're not quite moving on from, and finding the resolution for the prank that was played on Shedeur Sanders, being told he was being drafted by the Saints, with the call going in from not quite inside the house, but inside the house of a Falcons coach, and made by a son of the Falcons coach who thought it was funny to put it up on the YouTubes. And so the NFL has fined the Falcons and the coach over the prank call because it's just flat out stupid. The NFL has levied fines totaling $350,000 against Atlanta Falcons and their defensive coordinator, Jeff Ulbrich, on the prank call incident that involved quarterback Shedeur Sanders during the 2025 NFL Draft. Falcons were fined $250,000 themselves. Ulbrich only got $100,000, but it's a big chunk of money for failing to prevent the disclosure of the confidential draft information. The disclosure went to his son, Oja's son, Jax, 21-year-old, who accessed Sanders' private contact information from an open iPad at the family house. And then Jax orchestrated a prank call impersonating New Orleans Saints general manager Mickey Loomis, misleading Sanders and believed that he was drafted by the Saints. Obviously, it didn't happen. The call was made during a live stream of Sanders' draft party, adding to the public nature of the prank. So as people are watching Sanders, he gets a call from the Saints. He has a nice conversation. People are kind of happy and jazzed and say, hey, we're going to see a nice quarterback coming down to New Orleans. I'm geeked out if I'm watching this live. And the Saints are like, what the hell? And yeah, you can get where that was going. Plus, it was going badly because they had to wait 3 days to get him drafted anyway. So it was a whole lot of going on. In response to the incident, both Jeff and Jax Ulbrich issued public apologies. Jeff Ulbrich expressed deep regret for not securing confidential information and for his son's actions, stating, my actions are not protecting confidential data were inexcusable. My son's actions were absolutely inexcusable. And for that, we are both deeply sorry. Ulbrich Jax, it is, apologized directly to Sanders and his family on acknowledging the prank as selfish and childish. Sanders was ultimately drafted in the 5th round by the Cleveland Browns, which was he dripped the actions with maturity, not putting the hate to this one, as there's a lot of background sort of kerfuffles in this dealings. Why did he drop so low? What's going on? Were people hating against him? Were people hating against his actual talent? Were people hating against his father? Back and forth. And irony is, another Cleveland Brown draftee also got some prank treatment as well. So apparently everybody attached to the Browns wanted to prank those guys coming in there. Sanders is going to move on with his personal career. He's going to hopefully take a good shot at being a quarterback next year, as the Browns have 5 guys essentially shooting for number 1 spot, and only 3 guys can make the rosters essentially. So we have some work to see what happens, but the Browns think they got a steal. They got some contact, and maybe to get rid of some of those older veterans who are just sitting there being older veterans to move forward. So Starbucks is ditching its robot baristas to reconnect with human customers. That's the headlines that we're seeing for the story. But as the new CEO of Starbucks is trying to get back to its roots, back to third space sort of life, and back to his customers, not just focusing on the fast speediness of getting it quick, getting a bunch of different weird organization of stuff, drinks, and of course drive through. Starbucks is backing off its automation strategy. It's going to hire thousands more baristas, actual humans, to reduce reliance on high-tech equipment like the Siren Craft system. I'm not sure if this is it. This is a system that actually makes your coffees for you. The shift comes after the pilot programs in select stores demonstrated an increased human staffing, improved customer satisfaction more effectively in automation. Essentially, what you're getting here with the robot is you go into the vending machine that was in various office places, in the 80s and 90s, where you press a button and coffee comes out of a cup and a little squirt of milk comes into it, and that's what you have. And then, of course, although you miss out on the poker cups, which is always fun. But right now, the plans are to expand this approach to about 3,000 locations in 2025. That's 3,000 locations with more people and less robots. The more or less newish CEO, Brian Nicole, has assumed leadership in 2024 in September. Acknowledged that the previous efforts to cut labor costs through automation did not yield desired results. He emphasized that human interaction is crucial to delivering the quality customer experience that Starbucks aims for. Staffing changes are there, but also brought brand revitalization efforts, new store designs, menu changes, and updated employee dress codes to embrace brand identity. Despite the initiatives that are in there, company is right now at a 1% global sales decline for the quarter ending March 31st, the 5th consecutive quarterly drop. But the decision to scale back automation and focus on human labor reflect a broader industry trend where companies recognize the value of personal interactions in customer service. The move at Starbucks is actually underscoring the balance of technological advances, apps, things like that, with the human touch, people who actually talk to at the store. As Starbucks continues to adapt its strategies, the emphasis on human connection over automation may serve as a model for other companies navigating similar challenges in evolving retail landscape. Going all digital, going all app, going all non-people is becoming an issue because basically people want stuff cheap, but they also want stuff people. It's just reality. 800,000 in dimes spilled on a highway after a semi truck overturned. The next two stories are issues on highways dealing with distractions and shutting down for distractions. This one is a large one. The next one's a small one, but almost more cute, if you will. Back on Tuesday, a semi truck overturned on U.S. Highway 81 287 near Alvord, Texas, and spilled approximately 8 million dimes. Doing the math, that's $800,000 across the roadway, just there in dimes. Truck veered off the road and overcorrected, leading to the accident. Both the driver and the passengers sustained a non-life-threatening injuries. They're a little scraped up. They're fine. But what does that mean? Cleanup efforts with crews using shovels, vacuums, and manual collection to retrieve the scattered coins because it's money that don't belong to people, $800,000 worth of it. 14 hours to recover 8 million dimes. They not specified why the dimes were transported loose rather than security containers, having them boxed up, having whatever, rather just in a big old truck just out there to spill out there. But I guess they were in a rush. Drawn attention due to the unusual nature of the cargo and extensive cleanup required. No further details of the origin of the destination or the shipment have been released. Where were the dimes going? Where are they coming from? Who has $8 million worth of dimes to put on the back of a flatbed truck or a dump truck or a big ass truck? We never know. We do have more details on this crash in Alabama because it was caused by a kangaroo named Sheila. This kangaroo caused a two-car collision on Interstate 85, Macon County, Alabama, happening on the 29th of April. Around 11:50 a.m., Sheila escaped from her enclosure and was seen hopping along the highway between Tuskegee and Auburn, trying to scout the teams, I guess. Drivers attempting to avoid the marsupial led to a crash, though no injuries were reported there. Authorities, including the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency and Sheila's owner, Patrick Starr, responded by shutting down both directions of the interstate to ensure the safety of facilitated kangaroos captured. I'm sure Starr had no part in that one, but he was just chasing down the kangaroo. Sheila was eventually tranquilized and safely retrieved without harm. She received treatment at Auburn University College of Veterinary Medicine and has gone home. Starr operates a pumpkin patch and petting zoo and describes Sheila as a personal pet. Expressed release over her safe return. Incident has sparked discussions about the appropriateness of keeping wild animals as pets, with animal welfare advocates highlighting the risk involved. The event marks the third kangaroo escape in Alabama in the past 4 years, which may seem like a trend, also underscoring concerns about the safety and ethics of exotic pet ownership. Now, this is the entire state, not Starr losing his kangaroo 4 times. It is just what it is. But kangaroos in the street can cause, you see. So, since I'm off on my slides, it's been a very off day. So, apologies for all this stuff. Thank you so much for being a part of what we're doing here today. It's been a deal, if you will. But right now, we are going to talk teasers. These are 3 stories we have lined up in the queue, ready to go for you to engage in on Facebook and X, facebook.com/This Conversation Project and x.com/th_conversation. What you need to do, just follow us on our feeds. We'll do deeper into detail on that in just a moment. As you see these stories every 50 minutes or so, engage in them so we get a chance to talk about them. Now, 3 stories are queued up. Media Research Center finds 92% of negative coverage, 92% negative coverage of Trump in first 100 days, which if you're watching me, you probably kind of see where it goes with that one. Tesla denies contacting headhunter to replace Musk. I'll read that much more slowly. Tesla denies contacting headhunters to replace Musk. Musk going back to work to focus more on Tesla and leaving his Doge work. But Tesla says we weren't actually looking to replace him. We want him back. And in U.S., NBC Universal starts a new round of layoffs as SpinCo begins to take shape. You can read all about that as it comes up into fruition, or search it on your own just to learn about it. But if you want to talk about it with us here, you have to engage in it in our feed so we know the score to talk about it. Let's talk about our spotlight sponsor for right now. Happens to be the chess store. And I hate that I'm having the serious hiccup fit to bring the chess store back into fruition, but it is here. But whether you're a grandmaster, a beginner, or someone who approaches the strategy and beauty game in between, you need to know about the chess store. At the chess store, it's not just about buying a board, it's investing in the sport. Craftsmanship, tradition, and quality is what they offer to you at the chess store. From handcrafted salts and wood sets to sleek modern design travel boards to tournament gear that will keep you going for long into the time you need to win those games. They offer the finest selection for players and every level of style, every level of play that you can think of. You're upgrading from the plastic big board game you bought from the dollar store down the street. Elegant boards with display pieces are timeless as the game itself. If you're looking for a gift for a chess lover, premium sets turn any collection into a checkmate for you and that win to there. Customer service is great. They have fast shipping, top-rated products, and the prices are pretty much what you expect from a place called the chess store. Right on time, right on point for your ultimate move to get the right things for you. So shop like a champion, just like you play one. Go to our affiliate link. This is conversationproject.com/the chess store. This is the conversationproject.com/the chess store. Get on the deals today. It's an affiliate link, so we get a small commission for what you buy there. Everything is beautiful. Everything is wonderful. Everything is well made, and the customer service can't be beat. Check them out. They will take care of you. They take care of us with a small commission. It's all great. It's all good. And it's all chess. Conversation Project lives online at this is conversationproject.com. And today, not exactly one of our stellar days. And we're okay with that because some days you just have to survive. It is what it is. But we will do the after action. We will do a air check. We'll see how it's working on the live streaming platform to see if it actually went through without any sound issues other than, me and the burps, coughs, and hiccups. Keep things going. But what we need from you is to visit our website. This is conversationproject.com. There you'll find more sponsors, links to our partnerships page, which we may not have earned new partners day. And past episodes, so you can see what things look like on better days, if you will. Now the feeds. Well, the way we get our stories is with your help, your assistance. You help us do this stuff right here. So in order to make that happen, we ask you to check us out on our feeds on Facebook and X. Facebook.com/This is Conversation Project. X.com/TH_conversation. You may be following us on those sites as well, watching this here. We have people watching us live on X at the moment. What we do is we post news articles every 50 minutes, basically here or there, from various spots, various places. Some of them are the kind of in your silo, some of them are kind of out of your silo. We're looking for you to engage in the story. Read the headline, read the story. So click the link for that one. Give us your engagement score by hitting the emoji face you want to on Facebook or the heart on X. A reply in the comments, share it with other people. The more a story or a link gets a particular engagement number, the higher it is, better chance we have of talking about it in the next iteration. So on this day, Thursday, from midnight this morning, 12:01 this morning to about 3 a.m. tomorrow morning, we'll have all those news stories in there, about 30 or so in that span of time. And we will pick from the top half of those, 15, 16 or so, as they go through, 8 of them to present to you for your Friday. It works like that. Do that for 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Monday, you get 10 stories because of a lot of stories in the weekend. So if you want to be a part of the News Nerd Nation and actually have your say said, it's very simple. You just go to our feeds, follow us there, engage in the stories as you check your feeds for other people's stuff and see which stories are working best for you. If you don't like to pick a stories in a particular day, email us at the conversation inbox at gmail.com. You can also stop by the website and see links where you can subscribe to us via a audio podcast. If you're listening to this via audio, it's going to sound very weird with all the burps and hiccups and coughs and the pauses is trying to get past those. So it's going to be a bad audio day, unfortunately. But you also get sometimes the best way to get the stuff is with our email newsletter, which is just the links and then links back to the audio and the video, which gets confusing. But you get straight news, straight with the links and the commentary, less commentary, well, that way as well. Because we're suffering through this one, we're going to suffer off this one right now. Thank you for joining in for us. If you popped in with us live before 6 in the morning, thank you so much. We appreciate that. If you're not, whenever you watch it, give me a reply, give me a comment on when you watched it so we know what's going on. As we said, if you watched this one and you went through the pain and suffering that I did, God bless you. We do better on other days. Other than that, we got a long way to go. Donald Trump got through 100 days, and this is not a Trump anti-Trump news site, anti-Trump thing, but we talk about the stories that are conversational, and he's conversational whether you like him or not, whether you love his policies or kind of scratch your head at what's going on. He's conversational, and he will be. So we've got another 1,000 days or so to get through with him. Team Content will prevail on that one, but it's not just Trump stuff because he will overtake the news article, the news cycle because he likes to. It's little things like Sheila the Kangaroo and 8 million dimes that are conversational that you tell us are worthy of talking about. So to get more of those stories in place for here, follow along on the feeds and let me know what stories are worthy of chatting up because it helps. It makes our news nerd nation that much more engaged, that much more informed because it's not just talking about what Audie Konish is talking about in the group chat. I watch it every morning, but it's not just those big Washington, D.C., CNN talking points. It's all the things out there. Love you. Mean it. We hope to figure out this hiccup thing tomorrow. I'm having a bit of issues with that. But in the meantime, enjoy your day. Enjoy your Thursday. We'll try this again. We'll try it again come tomorrow.